Hey everybody. I'm going to bring in my co-host here really quick cuz we wanted to announce this first time ever podcast that we're doing.
Yes, is
And
the first of many veteran lifestyle magazine podcasts. Um,
yes.
and I love the idea that when Annette approached me to kind of be her um, quivers to stern, I guess. That's how I'm going to think of it. We're dating ourselves with that.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Guys are watching.
No.
Um,
So I
so I'm honored and blessed. I mean, I was talking about this with our guests in the back thing about how creation comes about and how people come in and out of our lives. So I look forward to this discussion today and really kind of just being as supportive as possible. So thank you again for this opportunity, Annette, and Veteran Lifestyle Magazine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you're doing this with me because we wanted to do something together for a long time. And I think this podcast is just going to enhance what we do with it online and on social media. We're going to add extra goodies to it. And I'm so excited because our first guest is Kristen Taylor. I just want to tell you really quick before we bring her in. So I personally, I get a little nervous going to events by myself. I don't know. I have this like I'm shy, but people who know me don't think I'm shy. But when there was a Facebook event for local musicians to get together here in Salado, Texas, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try it out. Totally unprepared. Didn't have any of my business cards. I just wanted to go and see. And I ran into Kristen, and I immediately was drawn to her. She's so adorable. And I heard her sing. She brought her guitar and she started singing. I was like, holy shit, I want to talk to her more. Like I just had this whole vision of writing a song with her, like listening to her sing, and she plays the guitar and everything. So ever since then, I consider her a friend, and we
Yeah.
have talked about things. And I just wanted, and oh gosh, how can I forget? Okay, really quick. I went and saw her at a singing and songwriter competition the other night. We're going to talk about that because she
Yeah.
just blew me away. And so, without further ado, Kristen.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Kristen. See you
Hello.
again.
Good to see you again as well.
Annette, okay, before we go any further, Annette, I can adjust your camera a little bit down because your name is
Yes.
blocking your face.
There we go.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Okay, okay.
A little bit more. It's like, hey, you know what? I am that friend that goes, hey,
And you're like,
I'm that kind of friend. Anyway.
Hey, you gotta have friends like that.
so, Kristen, can
Yes.
you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because we're going to dig into why you became an artist and all the things that go with it. But who is Kristen?
So I am originally from Flower Mound, which is a town that's north of Dallas, and I grew up there pretty much my entire life. I feel like I've been singing for however long I can remember, but actually soccer was a big part of my life. Like I played soccer from when I was like probably like 4 or whenever your parents first put you in like sports. That's when I started playing soccer, and then I even played in college, and so soccer was like my whole freaking life. And then I graduated from Mary Hardin Baylor, which is where I went to go play soccer as well. Yeah, I graduated in 2018 with a degree in graphic design, and then that's when I kind of just started to first dive into the whole music scene and music journey.
That's so brave, honestly, because the music industry is saturated, right? And then to actually go all in takes so much. It takes so much strength and courage because it can be hard out there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so a question for
Yes.
me, because if you watch any of the other shows that I do right here, I've always said that I kind of like recognize that we are all kind of like a conglomeration of the experiences and
Mhm.
things that we see in our lives, right? Whether and it could be everything. It's the people, like
Yeah.
the actual people we see, the TV shows we watch, and all that.
Yeah.
So I was just curious because there's been a resurgence in music, I think. Uh,
Mhm.
and would you say there's anything in pop culture like? And for me, my question was, did you used to watch American Idol? And did that influence you to really kind of go, you know what, I can do this, and push you forward, or do you think stuff like that has an opposite effect? And I really like to hear your perspective on
It is crazy. No, as a kid, I remember I watched American Idol so much, and like I loved the idea of it because I love singing. Like I remember like watching it, but I would always like even when the contestants were singing, like I would even like pretend like I was singing or like um but yeah, no, it's crazy because I actually like tried out for American Idol like I don't know, it was like 2-3 weeks ago. I literally did like a Zoom audition, but that was like my first. It was crazy because I got like a notification on my phone and it was like American Idol auditions, and I was like, okay, maybe this is a sign. That's like maybe this is a sign. So I remember I signed up, and it was crazy. It was like the craziest little experience. But yeah, now you audition over Zoom, which is so
Oh
crazy.
my god.
it.
But no, I think it definitely like it made sense. Like because I mean, it took me a while to even like start doing music. Because I mean, I've been doing it for like a year and a half. Um, but like looking back, I'm like, it makes so much sense. Like I would sing all the time, and then like again, I would watch American Idol like as a kid so much, and shows like that. So I definitely do think it like had an influence, like a good influence for sure.
Right. So I mean, and what's funny is I always think that that's the same thing in other things. It's like I think you just got to try it,
Yeah,
and find those inspirations in wherever you can. So I think that's pretty cool that that you went that route, because I think some people, if they had the wrong mindset, they look at American Idol and they go, oh, man, I don't want to be on the wheel, and
yeah.
the fear gets into them. And
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
but no, that's not a way to create, and I liked it. That was kind of motivating you to kind of try out. And that's even
Like,
cooler.
why not? What do I have to lose? I have nothing to
That's
lose.
that's so exciting. Holy crap. I know I gosh, how long has American Idol been around? I watched it all the time too for years.
Yeah.
That's so oh my gosh, how oh, I'm so excited for you. Can you can you talk about what are some of the challenges you experience as an independent artist? Because there's I know there's misconceptions out there that you can only really be successful if you're signed with the label. But in this case, as an independent artist, like what kind of things did you have to do for to get your name out there?
Um, I feel like the only disadvantage as an independent artist is like you have to wear every single hat. Like you have to like you're your own manager, you're your own promoter, you're your own booking agent, you are working your own social media. You know what I'm saying? So it's like and then like too like I've learned how to produce my own music. So it's like I'm my producer, I'm my own manager, I'm literally doing it all. I'm wearing every single hat. So I think that's the hardest part of just like it's really like I feel like I'm okay. I mean, okay, there's times where it's just like overwhelming. Like it gets overwhelming, but I think that's the only disadvantage, really. Because then once you are signed with the label, then it's like, okay, then you hire on people to kind of do that all for you. But
Right.
it's fun though. I enjoy it. I do enjoy
And I
it.
was going to ask you that because are there times where you're like, I can't do this anymore? Is it, or is it just so much, it's fueled by your passion that you're just like, nope, I'm going to keep going?
I think it's fueled by my passion because like I
Yeah.
love every aspect of creating. So like I went to school for graphic design, so like the whole social media thing, like I love doing my own social media. That's something I'm passionate about. Editing my own music, like it's been a process to like learn that, but once I've like gotten it down, like I'm like, oh, this is so fun, and this is so like I love doing this. So yeah, no, it's been yeah, it's been fun.
How does it feel to hear yourself on, because you're on Spotify
Yeah.
and that's how I have you listed there. I subscribe there and then you're on Instagram. You do it all and TikTok. So you do all those videos yourself?
I do. Yeah, a majority of them.
Yeah, that is a
Like
lot of work.
we just had that conversation when we were starting this thing. How you have to wear so many hats, and for
Mm.
me, that kind of relates to a lot of the things like that we did while we were in service. I mean, and I've always thought that there is this like really kind of cool uh, similarities in what it takes to be an entertainer, and the dedication and the adaptability, the the means to be able to switch hats and think quickly are very similar. And I actually had a lot of friends that went into the entertainment industry, not necessarily musicians, but some musicians, some went into acting and other things. But there's a lot of similarities there. So I was kind of appreciating
Mhm.
Now, because you are a young artist, have you found it difficult to just like stand your ground and just like I'm not gonna do this, or look, maybe you can't do all free gigs, right? Is there times where you're like, no, I we need to get paid for this, or you just how do you juggle that being your age?
I think I haven't done that yet. Like like at the end of the day, I do want to get paid. I really do. But I feel like I'm still at the stage where I'm like, I value new opportunities and like new venues to play at rather than the money. Just because I love it. So, like I just love playing music. So it's like I rather because you don't know like say I were to like say no to a venue and be like, oh no, like y'all should pay me more, like I'm okay. But like who knows if that venue could have what other door that like that venue could you can meet someone. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know who you're gonna meet at each venue or each like place that you're gonna play at. So it's like why would I shut off that opportunity just because like I want to get paid?
Right.
not to go back, but I'm curious. Is that kind of also have a kind of a determination in what Ned asked earlier about label versus independent? Like currently, right now, being an independent musician, you have more freedoms.
Yeah.
I mean, it's harder, but you have more freedoms. Is that kind of thing? Could you talk a little bit more on how that actually works? And is there a point where one outweighs the other, label versus independent?
Um, I don't know. I could you ask the question again?
Well, I was just saying, is there a point where you feel that the independence, like, maybe it's time to really kind of look at label, or there's a time where you're just like the independence is way more than doing a label, and like, how do you weigh those kind of two
That's
things?
true.
You know what I'm saying? Is there like a would you say or is a point in your career where you, well, you know what, I'll sign with the label
Yeah,
because I've done this, or there's a point where you say, okay, I had the opportunity to do the label, but I still want to do this because I want to be independent. You know what I mean? Kind of like,
yeah.
how do you weigh those
I
two
think
kind of
I
sides?
think a lot of people too. Like I don't know. I think independent has been like a lot. I mean, I know a lot of people get signed with labels, but even one of the artists I look up to. She's one of my influences, but her name's Olivia O'Brien, and she like blew up when she was like 16 or something. And she like signed with the label and like signed the label at so early of age. But then like now like she just recently like is done with the label and now she's just like independent because I think she was just making music that she didn't want to make. And so I think there's a probably like, when you sign with the label, they try to tell you I think it's just so hit or miss, Or it has its pros and cons. It's like, yeah, now I don't have to wear every single hat and like I have people that work for me and like help me out. But also maybe some of your creative freedom is gone. So I think right now it's kind of nice because I have all the creative freedom in the world, even though I'm wearing every hat.
It's funny because I recently realized earlier a few years ago that I have like ADHD. So the way I relate is I kind of tell things. The way I relate to when I hear something that I really kind of relate to is
Mm-hmm.
share my own personal thing. And I feel that's kind of how I've been trying to grow businesses, or how I've been trying to create in this entrepreneur space. Because really, there is so much that you are sharing that I hope our network, because the net in our network is really a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of veterans, a lot of things like that. It's kind of we've been around, and um, but we have both also recognized the value, and we talked about this a minute ago about communities, right? The value of actually stepping outside and being a little bit more open and not staying within a specific circle and seeing the value in those. So I think a lot of people are hearing you explain these things and they're like, oh man, that's just like when I was trying to do this business thing. Right. So I think that's beautiful, and it's the thing that we should amplify, right? It's all of our commonalities. So I'm just like kind of blown away how you're able to kind of bring that together.
So how do you balance it all? And what does your typical day look like? Do you practice every day? Do you write every day? Like what's the process like?
Honestly, it's just like I don't really plan it out. Like I really don't practice every day, or I don't write. Honestly, like writing wise, like it hits me when it hits me. Like an idea will strike, and then I'll start writing, or I'll write it in my phone, or like yesterday I was hanging out with some friends, and I remember she was talking about something, and then just from something that she said, I was like, oh my gosh, like something clicked in my brain, and I just started writing it in my phone, and then I like wrote some like notes in my phone, like some lyrics or something. So it's like it always just happens at the most random times, and I never plan it out.
I love that. And I remember texting you a week ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, here's a song title I want. And then I just started writing lyrics. But I was like, it just comes to you, right? You just write it down like a poem or whatever. But I know that we've talked about how important it is to write it down, because in my head, I'm like, I'll remember it later. And I don't.
No,
So
it's like a dream. Like, you know, when you dream and then you wake up and then it's like you kind of remember it, and if you don't write it, then it's gone. It's like I gotta write it down. Yeah.
It's so good. How do you come up with the harmony? That's For me, that's my biggest issue. I can write words all day long, but I cannot think of how I want it to sound. How do you come up with
Like
stuff
the
like
melodies.
that? The melody, yes.
I think I've gotten a lot better at it. A lot of the times I'll just listen to like the instrumental just kind of on repeat, and I'll literally just start singing. You kind of just have to start singing,
right?
What, like, it sounds like gibberish or whatever, but like you just have to sing and just start whatever sounds good. And then if you hear something that like, ooh, I really like that, then I'll start writing words to like whatever that melody is.
I wanted to bring up the singer-songwriter competition the other day. I know we didn't get what we wanted, but can you how do you decide, I'm just going to go try it? And do you get nervous? Because you didn't seem nervous when you were up on stage.
I feel like I was definitely like, because for gigs now, like I don't really get nervous. But I think like I was a little nervous. Like I was definitely a little nervous, because even I realized one of my problems like for that competition was I remember when I got up there, because everyone was sitting down for their sets, and I was like, no, I want to stand up. Like I want to like perform. I want to stand up. And I remember the guy was like adjusting the mic for me, and then he had it like, it was just not where it should have been. It was like lower than it should have been. And he's like, is this good? Is this good? And I was like, my nerves took over, and I was just like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's all good. Like, hey, yeah, perfect. And then it's like, no, I should have, I think it was just because I was nervous. Like, I should have been like, oh, actually, no, can you like adjust a little more? But no, I definitely was like a little nervous.
Yeah.
Just because it's competition. I don't know. I think it's just because competition and there's like money on the line.
That really does something to you, right? Because if we were just up there just playing, it'd be different. But at that point, you're like, no, I have to compete against 6 other people.
Right.
But by the way, you guys, she did amazing, and I did not like that she didn't win. But that's a whole other thing.
It's okay. I just see it as like tests now. I don't know. I like it. No, yeah, I was really upset, but I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like there's gonna be so many tests throughout my like musical journey of like people saying no, or me not winning or just me not getting the result I want, but it's like, okay, I can either keep going, as cheesy it sounds, like keep going, or I can like stop or like choose to let this affect me, But I was like, like it hurt my ego a little bit, but I was like, no, I feel like I'm such at a point where I'm like, I know what I have to offer, like I know who I am as an artist, like I know that it's okay, it's all right.
And that's a lot more than a lot of people to not know who they are or where they're going to go. So you're steps in front of tons of people that don't know those things yet. So keep going. That's awesome.
Oh, I love that. What have your parents been saying while you're on this journey?
So it was funny because at first, so I started learning guitar like a year and a half ago, and it was right as soon as I got out of college. And I remember I just bought like a cheap guitar off of Amazon, and it was like a cheap little nylon string. But I remember I started playing, and then I kind of started songwriting. And then I played like my first like gig. I mean, it's like it wasn't paid, but it was still getting out in front of people and like playing. But at first they were just kind of like, oh, this is like a cute little hobby, They're just like, oh, But I will say, as like time has progressed, and they're kind of like, oh, like you really can write, and like you really like. I mean, they knew I sang like when I was a kid and all that stuff, but I think as time has progressed, they've I've been like, oh, okay, like yeah, this is what you want to do. Okay, we're fully on board, and so they've been like helping me out. I mean, yeah, they've been helping me out a lot.
I love that. So I got to meet her parents at the competition the other night, and it was just so sweet that they actually were there to watch you. So it was so great. Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
No, I love that they drive down. They're used to the
I
drive.
know.
They're used to the drive. They would come to like. They're so supportive, because even when I played soccer, like they're just the parents that were like at every game. Like my like college especially, like they would come to every single game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess if we're not our kids' biggest fans, then who else is?
Then what do you do? Then what do you do?
Might not be. So you gotta. I love that. That's not easy. Like, look, as a parent, now I recognize it's not easy to get to everything, but again, I'm gonna try.
Yeah. And especially like the path that I'm taking. So many people will be like, "Oh, it's so unrealistic," but it's like, no, it's not. Like to me, it's not. Like, and I think it helps. My dad, like, he was in the IT business for the longest time, and he always had a dream to be a chef. And so he kind of he was just like, I'm gonna go to culinary school, like just out of nowhere. It was like, I'm gonna go to culinary school. And so he went and he finished, and then he ended up opening a restaurant. That was something he always wanted to do. So it's like, I can draw like inspo from that of like, it's not unrealistic. You gotta like have a vision for something, for like anything to happen.
No, I love that you said that, because I think now at my old age, I keep thinking, life's too short, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what other people think. It's as long as you love it and you believe in it, then that's what should keep us going. Of course, the support of our friends and family, but for people to say you can't do that or you're never going to make it, well, I want to try.
Yeah, I want to try at least.
I want to try it, because I'll always regret not trying.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you for doing that, because it can be difficult, but you have too much talent to let go, and you inspire other people. So, because there were people at the competition recording you because you were that good.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
We saw them recording you, and we're like, oh my gosh.
It was so cool. I actually had someone too, like, because then, like, I was upset. Like, I really was upset that night, and just because but I think it's good. Like, I'm just, and I think it comes from like my competitiveness with like sports and just like that. Yeah. But like, I was so just like, it's because I want to be the best at everything I do. Like, that's literally just my mindset. And so when I don't win, like same thing with soccer. If we didn't win, I was just not. But I had someone actually like reach out to me the day before. It was like the day after. It was just some random person, and they found my Instagram and then DM me, and they were just like, hey, like I saw you at O'Brien's the other night. I just want to let you know, like, you did really good, and just like keep going or something. But I'm just saying,
Oh,
like, it's like stuff like that. Like, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to go out of their way to reach out, you know?
that is huge.
So just having people do that after, like, it's like, okay. Like, it's just confirmation. It's like, it's
Absolutely.
of like,
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
that's so great.
It is cool.
Well, I mean, in our network, we talk about it all the time. It's, we always fail forward. So
Yeah.
maybe that wasn't the right competition for you.
Yeah.
You just keep going. Like, all right, what did I learn from that? How do I improve? And where do I go from here? So I think that's actually kind of cool. And then the
It
support
is.
of your family is always amazing. It really is. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So, what are your plans next? What is your goals for the rest of the year?
For the rest of the year. I think I'm gonna release like a couple singles, I think, for the rest of the year. And then I feel like I've written the most I've ever written, like in the last like 2 months. And so I've like 5 or 6 songs. And I'm like, okay, I think I want to do an EP like next year. To start working on that, which is like, yeah, it could be like my first like little mini album, I guess.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I think that's the plan, and then also just I'm trying to like also just try to get my feet more into the Austin scene, which I feel like I'm starting to. I
Yeah.
just need just like my target audience and just like the crowd that I need to get it in with. But I feel like I'm definitely starting to like slowly make my way into Austin. So I just hope by the end of the year that I'll be more in it.
I still can totally see you and your band at Aussie City Limits. I'm just saying. I think you can play there for sure. For at least goal for 2025.
2025.
I see it. Um,
Because I mean, there are like smaller bands and smaller local artists that play at APL. So
Yeah.
I think it's definitely possible.
yeah. No,
I've
for
always
sure.
been curious about that. How independent artists like your bands or the bands that you probably have a community with. Like, I've always been curious if you don't have a manager, did one of you guys take the reign as the manager? And is it just like if you were in sales, it's cold calling a bunch of venues and saying, "Hey, we'd like to perform. Do you have openings for bands to come?" Or how exactly is that process? I mean, is it something that you could share with us?
Yeah. So I just recently got like a band together because I've been playing for like a year by myself, which I love playing by myself, but just the band, the whole, it's just something. It's just a lot more. It's magical. Like I love being with a full band. So and it's just my friends. Like I've just networked. Like I come to a lot of open mics in Austin. I've met a lot of like musicians in Austin, and I became friends with some people. And then you just start to know more. Like, oh, you're a bass player. Okay, cool. Good to know. Good to know. Oh, you're a guitar. Like you start just like knowing all these people. And most of these musicians, they kind of just like they're in multiple bands. I feel like it. But so I kind of just got a band together, and now I'll just like I'll call venues and I'll be like, hey, like I have a band. Like, do y'all have any spots open um, for us to play? But yeah, so usually I do all the things.
That's
But
so it is cool. It's just like sales, cold calling. You got to.
pretty much,
I mean, it's a lot of sell, and it's still a lot of sense. Just like the old, like just like what we used to see. Again, I'm not familiar with the music industry, but it's just like we see in those old shows that they talk about. When they do those band movies, they do a movie about what was the last one, the Pat Benatar movie.
yeah. And that's the thing
Where
about too, like
they have to make tapes and they send them out to everybody. And
yeah, I mean
so
you have to like send your like you send your like Instagram, so they probably are like, oh, they have this many followers, and they can send like videos of you playing live, so they can kind of like see like how y'all sound. And but it is easy. I feel like too, like cold calling venues is so like I don't want to say discouraging too, because again, like you're gonna hear a lot more no's than yes. But it's like once you get in with one, it's like, okay, I gotta make this count. Like I gotta like okay, it's like okay, I gotta like because then it's like if you can get on the reoccurring like time to like play there, then it's like okay.
Mhm.
So
I know. I have another question. It's a curiosity question because
okay,
I am a huge baseball fan. I like baseball, and
okay.
we have this minor league baseball team. Literally, like I could throw a rock at them. We're so close to their stadium, and they actually host bands. It's like they play music quite a bit, which is interesting. Have you ever considered playing a baseball stadium? Like, would that?
I,
How do they even do that? I've never been to one of their band performances because
uh-huh.
it's always on a weird time, but I've seen it several times. It's like really
Really?
cool. Yeah, they play. They do different. They host different bands. It was really cool.
Okay.
So,
That's cool. No, hey, I would do anything. I'd play
that's what
it.
I'm saying. I'm thinking like, one of the we actually talked about this. I'm a part of another veteran group that we all do these. And again, I always do this. But we were just talking about being super connected, and that just means helping other people find other things.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think we all aspire to be. So if I ever hear something and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe that's connected. Maybe there's an avenue there that other people don't think of.
Yeah.
You know, small baseball stadium for music.
No, that'd be cool. I'd do. Yeah, I would literally do anything. I'd play anything.
Dude, that's like paint.
Yeah, you don't know. Like you don't know.
Yeah, think about it. It's easy.
know
They sometimes there's upwards of 4,000 people
Yeah.
that kind of hanging out, and they go, "Oh, who is this?" Like,
Right. You just don't know who's going to be in the crowd.
All right. I am so excited to see where you are going to head after this. What can you tell us where you're playing somewhere tonight?
I am playing somewhere tonight.
Okay. Let's share that for our local people that are in our Central Texas area.
Okay. So I'm playing at a Nolan Creek Brewery, which is downtown Belton. It's going to be from 7 to 9. I'm going to have one of my friends. She's another one of my good friends. She's going to open for me. She's going to play like a set starting at 7, like 30 to 45 minutes. And then at 8, I'll be there with my full band. So it'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yay! Yeah. Well, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yes.
So I will be there. I will support you any way I can. Anytime
I'm excited for you to see the band. I'm excited.
Me too.
Because it's like one thing for me, just like me and my guitar, but like the full band is just, it's so good.
That's so awesome.
You're such talented musicians too.
Oh my gosh.
They're so good.
Well, for the rest of you, so I didn't get a chance to do all the edits yet for the video from the competition. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to take video tonight and I will post it up on our social media. But Kristen, thank you so much for interacting with me. And should we talk about that? Because I know we're going to write a song together, right?
Let's do it.
Okay. We're going to write a song together. So stay tuned for that. And for everybody else, can you please subscribe to our YouTube channel, share it, engage with the podcast and our community. And thank you so much to Parade Deck and Veteran Social Summit. Let me pop in. I'm going to pop in our website here for the Veteran Social Summit happening 4 to 5 December. It's an online virtual event and it's going to be amazing. You have anything to say about that, Joe?
Yes, actually, Ryan still have a lot of openings for sponsorships, and right now what those sponsorships go is a lot of that's going to go to the veteran pitch competition. So right now you would actually be giving a huge lift to veteran businesses that are going to actually probably be competing and trying to get a head start on their businesses. So we'd really like some more support on that. I think that would be great. And also, Kristen, I was so bold to ask if you could kind of play a small riff with your acoustic, because we were also having a conversation, and I love that she there's an awesome video on her YouTube channel She did it herself on the beach. It's an acoustic on the beach, and it's really cool. And I'm not sure that's what she's going to play now, but because I just asked her in the back channel, she said I can talk. So
So I got my time.
treat for everyone, and
I had
thank
it
you.
prepared. I had it ready. Let's see. One full song, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I'll do so I actually have a song coming out September 13th. I think that's 2 weeks from now. I think. But I wrote this a year ago, this time last year, and make sure that part but I wrote it. I was kind of in a time in my life where I was kind of just. I was searching for some type of connection, I think. And so I was doing that by trying to fulfill that with like dating apps. And I kind of learned real quick that it's just not the way to fulfill that type of need. And I think once I think when I wrote the song, I was pretty new on my music journey. But once I started music, like I feel like it fed every single need of connection that like I needed. Just with songwriting and having people like connect to the songs I'm writing, or just meeting people at gigs and all that stuff. But let's tune this up real quick.
Where do you feel your creative flow when you're in that creative flow when you're doing this, or even when you're playing? I've always wanted to ask this. Do you feel kind of just, do you feel it here? Do you feel it here? Or is it just kind of just a vibrant feeling? Because I know, I can't imagine what it's like to be in that creative state and in the flow of just playing music.
Oh,
it's curious, like, where does that come from?
It's just a vibrant, like, I feel like I feel it everywhere. I just feel it everywhere. Like it's like
every fiber, right?
Every bone in my body. Like it's just like an aura of But so yeah, this song's called Danger, and it comes out September 13th. Feeling of one seems so distant, like treasure wanting to be found, nothing ever true. It feels consistent, dizzy from this merry-go-round. Stuck wondering if it's worth the try. Patience slowly slipping away. I don't want to hear another lie. Will it ever be enough to stay? To stay. Two souls yearning for more. Almost lovers to complete strangers. How it was meant to be before all love can be. Danger in big letters. Danger, I should know better. Hopeless conversations by the hour with meaningless information. Did you know words hold power? Nothing worse than imagination. Staring at my phone, wishing you'd call. Minding my own and be and okay alone. It would be nice to really fall. Tired of feelings being unknown. Unknown. I should know better. I should know better. Will it ever be worth the risk or just a never-ending cycle? I'm tired of being in denial, finding love only for it to end up somewhere lost. Oh, but what cost? Danger in big letters. Danger, I should know better. I should know better.
That was so good. That was so good.
Yeah, I was singing just a
No!
few. Like I thought you were gonna play us a few, but man, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. What a way to start the first podcast, man. This was awesome. Thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was amazing.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to Parade Deck and Veteran Social Summit for making this possible. Don't forget to go to veteransocialsummit.com for your tickets. And also, don't forget to follow Kristen Taylor on Instagram and YouTube. But here's your link here. I will put it in the show notes when this is going to go live on Spotify. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and wherever you stream podcasts for veteranlifestylemagazine.com. Thank you again, Joe, for being my co-host.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And thank you, Kristen. I'm so excited. And keep us posted on any other things that you do so we can put it in the magazine and get you and help you out
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And also, because I am a serial collaborator and on the Veterans Club podcast, we were actually putting together a series of what we called entertainers.
Mhm.
So I'd love to talk to you about that eventually too. So
Yeah,
if there's
that
just,
was
and I think in the end, the whole purpose of what I think we started the Veteran Lifestyle Magazine and all these other things is really to amplify things that are beneficial for everybody. And I've always held dear that music is another one of those key things
Yeah.
that really brings people together, right? And I think we've forgotten some of these things. Music really builds community.
Yeah.
I mean, for a certain amount of time, you're going to have a room full of people who come from different walks of life, who
Yeah.
all are absolutely have different ideas, and they're going to sit and they will listen to music together and just vibe. I think that is absolutely amazing. Thank you for pursuing that creative endeavor.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. All right. Until next time.